Hello BSS, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here then just welcome. Hi, my name is Brenda. I do paranormal videos here on this channel, so if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing down below and turn on all your post notifications so you do not miss when I post another video like this one. Now with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video and happy Friday. I hope that you guys all had a good week and that you have a great weekend. I am so excited to read some spooky stories with you guys today, and as you can tell by the title, today we are reading some road trip scary stories, which somebody honked. As you guys know, I really love a good scary road trip story. Something about it, something about being alone, or maybe you're not by yourself, maybe you're with friends or whatever, but you're driving a long distance. Anything could happen, from real life things to paranormal to animal sightings of any sort. Just there's so many things that can scare you out on the road, and a lot of things that people have experienced or could potentially experience. It's so scary. I hate driving, first of all. I don't like the idea of driving by myself for a long period of time or anything like that. I don't think I could do it. The longest I drive by myself is like maybe 30 minutes, and that's pushing it. And I have been on a couple of road trips. Not a couple, it's been more than that. But with my family, I used to drive down to California all the time. If you are new to the channel, if you've never heard me talk about how much I love road trips, here I go again. But I used to go down to California from Washington ever since I moved over to Washington in like when I was 11 or 12. I would go back every single summer up until like 2012 was the last year that I did the whole road trip thing with my family. But it was just me, my two siblings, my mom and my dad, and we would read scary stories to tell in the dark in the back of the van that we would take down there, and we would scare each other. We would talk about The Hills Have Eyes and the fact that family was on a road trip. We would just scare the crap out of each other. It was my favorite thing ever, my favorite thing to look back on and be like, oh my god, I missed that nostalgic scary feeling. But of course nothing would ever happen, and a lot of the times it's unfortunate circumstances where people have something bad happen to them because of other people's actions or whatever, so they'll get into a car accident or something like that. So today we're going to see if we can find some scary stories to read about road trips. I am on Quora, and somebody asked, do you have any creepy or scary road trip stories? And there are quite a few responses on here dating back from 6+ years ago. So let's see if there's anything juicy on here. I have not pre-read any of these because I want to have a genuine reaction to the stories. So we're gonna experience these stories together. Let's go ahead and get into the first one, which was submitted 6 years ago by Alicia Wynn, and it says, it was 1988, 2 days before prom night. My boyfriend graduated a year before me and had joined the army. He was home on leave for a short time and wasn't going to be able to take me to prom. He had a hot, brand new red 2-seater 380Z. We were in a park here in Waco, famous for teenagers and whoever wanted to get lost. This park is bigger than a whole neighborhood. We were making out, but the windows were down. He was hugging me with both hands. I had felt a cold hand on my private for a while before I had realized he had both hands on me. I looked at the window on the passenger side where we both were doing our thing. There was a man halfway in the car fondling me. I screamed, my boyfriend screamed, and that man slowly pulled out of the car and ran off into the trees, saying, "Man, I wanna F that B." We hurried out of there and went home. Oh my god. I could still feel his hand there on my private area for like a month after. What the? I have so many questions for this story. Oh my god, how do you not... Like, how does that take so long to register? Oh my god. Well, of course, you're not gonna think that a third person has joined the party without being invited. Like, that's not gonna come into mind. But come on, like, he was hugging you, your boyfriend, and then it took that long to be like, huh, there's another hand that feels like it's been outdoors and not hugging on me, like, in the heat of the moment, and it just grabs my private part. That is so terrifying. You see, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes real life, no, not sometimes, always, like, real life things happening to you is so much scarier than anything paranormal can be. Oh my god, I would not easily recover from that. And if I were the boyfriend, I would have went chasing after this guy. I don't know what they did afterwards. Not a lot of follow-up for this story, but ew, gross. All right, story number 2. This is by Ross Petit, and that was submitted 2 years ago. They say, driving along a road at night, hardly any lights as it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's raining like mad, and I can barely see ahead. Now, I know the road I'm on splits from 1 lane each way to 2 lanes each way, and that split goes high and low with a bunch of trees in the middle. So late at night, raining bade, come around corner, no lines on the road can be seen. I keep on driving, suddenly cars are coming at me head on. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Then realize I've gone up the wrong split because it's so dark and the cars in the distance had been obscured by the trees. I bail to the left and watch a dozen cars fly past, tooting horns at me. So I'm now in the ditch, late at night on the wrong side of the tree line, but I know there are breaks for crossroads every few hundred miles. I drive along the edge of the ditch with my hazards on, but it feels like forever till I find a turn, and so I turn across the divide to the correct side of the divide, and I almost run smack into a gate. I'm like, what the fuck is a gate doing in the middle of the crossway? I can't see anything, so I turn back on the road and realize I'm actually on the correct side of the road. The cars had come down the wrong way, not me. So I get back on the road and drive on. This is just a whole ordeal. Like, who's driving on the wrong side of the road? I don't freaking know. He almost died. That's the whole point. And he could have gotten into a 5 to 6 car collision, him being the one getting hit on every angle. That is crazy. That was more of a, like, being confused late at night. I see this a lot when it's raining and it's dark. People just forget how to drive. They're just like, I don't know what's happening. Jesus, take the wheel kind of moment. I almost said whale. I'm like, I can't talk right now. You know, I should not be somebody behind the wheel today. That's for sure. I don't know where my head is. All right, that one was okay. Honestly, it wasn't really creepy or scary. I mean, scary, I'm sure, when it's happening. You know, if you ever go on the wrong side of the road, you would poop your pants. Your life would flash before your eyes. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Okay. All right, let's get into this next one. See if this is any better. Okay, we'll see. This one is submitted by Corey China 5 years ago. And it says 3 true road trip stories. It doesn't say scary, so maybe they're not. This happened to 2 of my friends and I 3 years ago. We were driving from Texas to California, and along the way, we made quite a few stops, not only to get gas, but to eat, and a few times we were so tired we had to stop at a motel to sleep. We tried to save money a couple of times and slept in the car at a rest stop. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that sleeping at a rest stop is not the greatest idea, especially since we didn't have a plan or a designated stop in mind. We were too tired to drive in the middle of the night. Driving through Arizona, the rest stop was completely empty. There was nobody there for the majority of our trip when I drove. And on the occasion I'm speaking about, I was sitting in the driver's seat with both of my friends laying in the back of the truck in sleeping bags. I couldn't sleep, so I got out of the truck like 3 times to walk over to the vending machine by the bathrooms. I did, however, fall asleep at about 4 a.m. I didn't sleep for long. The Mountain Dew I drank went right through me, and I had to go pee. But before I opened the door to get out, something caught my eye standing on the other side of the empty parking lot. It was a person. I squinted my eyes to see them better, but could only see that it was a man, I was pretty sure, and he was standing with his back facing on the highway and forward facing me. I actually did not believe what I was seeing because of how scary it was. This is the kind of thing that you see in scary movies. I remember thinking that as I looked at this person, it didn't take me long to accept that it was real, and I sort of whisper yelled to my friends in the back too. One of my friends made a grunting noise, and the other ignored me. I opened the back window of my truck and whispered louder, telling them to get the hell up. The both of them moved but didn't sit up. I turned to look at the person once more, and was startled to see that the person had moved closer to my truck. He was now standing in the middle of the parking lot, and now I could see him much more clearly. He was wearing all black and black gloves. He pointed to the field behind my truck in a way like he wanted me to look away from him. I turned over my shoulder again and yelled, "Guys, wake up, look." And they both sat up and were now concerned because I had told them to look at something. They looked around and asked, "What?" I turned to face the person again, and he was gone. I looked in the direction of the bathrooms behind me over in the field, and he was just gone. My friends jumped in the truck after they saw how freaked out I was, and we got the hell out of there. That is so creepy. I hate that, imagining somebody just standing there watching you and then they're gone, on some Michael Myers shit. Also, this person they don't know what punctuation is at all. There was no commas, no periods. It was just one long, ongoing sentence. It was crazy. I didn't know when to stop when it was another sentence. That was really hard to read, so bear with me on the second one. And that grammar queen. But, I know a thing or two about punctuation, and this person has never heard of it. Alright, here is the second story. My best friend Logan and I were 20 years old when this took place. We were driving from Washington to California. Washington mentioned. That used to be my road trip. And then to Mexico. It was pretty late at night, and I was in the passenger seat asleep. I woke up to the sound of talking, and I looked to see Logan muttering to himself. I asked him what he was doing, and he jumped. He didn't know what to say, and I just said, "Don't worry about it, it's nothing." I asked him if he wanted me to drive, and he said no, so I fell back asleep. I woke up a little later and switched the playlist on my iPod. I looked at him, and he wasn't muttering anymore. I fell back asleep. The next time I woke up, the car was stopped. We were in a field, and Logan was gone. I, of course, flipped out and got out of the car. I could see the road we were driving on. Logan had driven off the road and into a field about 50 feet. I found him sitting in front of the car, muttering. I demanded that he tell me what the hell was going on. He says that he didn't know, and I got back in the car and drove us to a motel. The next morning he was laughing, acting totally normal, and told me that the night before was nothing and that I needed to forget about it. Okay, and that was it. Well, honestly, it just feels like this guy was kind of just being weird, and talking to himself for some reason. Maybe he was losing it, honestly. He needed to get some sleep because it sounded like you were sleeping the whole time he was driving. That's just my guess. Anyway, their last story, I think. Oh my god, this is so long. Ugh. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this, guys. Alright. I had just turned 18, and I bought my first car with the money that I saved up from my minimum wage job. It was a 15-year-old blue Honda Civic. I bought it off of Craigslist, and the guy I bought it from said it was in perfectly good condition. With that being said, I called up my best friend Stephanie and asked her if she wanted to do a mini road trip with me, just us two girls on the road. She said yes, and I picked her up the next afternoon. We didn't really have a destination in mind, just kind of wanted to drive throughout the day and see where we ended up. Now we're on the road, driving through the back roads of Wyoming, 5 hours into the drive when my car starts to pour out black smoke from the hood. Stephanie and I start tripping out and keep driving until we found a gas station. Luckily, it was one of those half gas station, half mechanic shop type. We pull in, car smoking, and we ask the mechanic guy if he can take a look at our car. He looks at us both up and down with a really perverted type of look. He spits out some tobacco-filled spit before he says, "Let me take a look." He pops the hood and figures out that the screws on the oil filter thing are loose, and the oil was pouring out and burning, and that's where the smoke came from. He says, "Yeah, I can fix it. Just go into the gas station and give me about 15 minutes. This guy really creeped us out, but we were just thankful that he was helping us. 15 minutes goes by and he says it's as good as new. We thank him, tip him, and head back out onto the road. We get about 5 miles down the road and the car starts shaking. It's giving this thumping noise from beneath the hood. We pull over on the side of this two-way road that we were on and get out. At this time, cell phones were just coming out, so only rich people owned one. We were stranded by this point, the sun almost down. We were trying to think of a plan. Do I go get help? Do we both go? Should one stay back with the car? As we were figuring out what to do, we saw an old grimy Chevy truck coming up towards us. We flagged on the truck and it stopped about 10 yards behind our car, with its headlights nearly blinding us. As we looked at it, the person stepped out, and as he got closer to us, we realized it was a mechanic from the gas station. Who would have thought? We were so relieved. We yelled out, "Oh, thank God. Can you please check out our car again?" The guy didn't say anything, just slowly walked towards us, and that's when we saw it. He was holding a large knife at his side. Stephanie grabbed my hand and pulled me. As she started sprinting away, the man started chasing after us. We were running as fast as we could. The road we were on was surrounded by trees and bushes, so we jumped inside one of these huge bushes and hid from the guy. We saw him run by. We stayed quiet till eventually we didn't see him again. Then we took off running until we found another town, and we were able to call the police. The cops eventually came out, but were no help. We eventually had a tow truck pick up our car, and my dad picked us up. That was the scariest moment of my life. That is so insane. Oh my gosh. I would have, from the get-go, as soon as I saw him, if he was being weird, I probably wouldn't have trusted him with my car. But obviously, in these situations where you literally don't have any other choice, you just have to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe he was a little creepy looking and he was giving you guys, you know, googly eyes, like looking you up and down. And, you know, you're not going to suspect that they're going to do something to the car. But I would have been so scared if I saw him driving over in my direction. I would have been like, no, he did something to the car on purpose for sure. Ugh, I hate that. It's so slimy, so gross. But at least nothing happened. And also, what the heck with the police? Like, they literally knew what gas station they were at because they didn't even get very far from where they ended up with their car, you know, about to blow up. They could have gone back to where the mechanic shop was and found him right there. Of course, there would have been no evidence other than what they're saying to girls, but why would they lie, you know? So strange. All right, sorry, I was trying to click on another story that was here, and I didn't know you had to have some kind of special subscription with Quora to get certain things on here. That's crazy. I guess this one has a lot of views and upvotes, so they're wanting me to do a free trial of Quora Plus for me to read it. What the heck? Okay, let's do one more from here. Let's see. All right, this one is a little bit more structured, so hopefully this is good. This one is by Lara Black, submitted 5 years ago. Some of these are way far back. When I was about 12, my parents went away for a function, so my brother and I had the house to ourselves. We got pizza and watched movies and had the best day ever, along with our adorable German Shepherd dog called Shaka. When it got dark, some boys from school showed up at our front gate calling for me. My brother stayed inside, peeking through the curtains as I went outside to greet them. I knew them well from school and was puzzled by their appearance, since kids don't usually go out in the neighborhood after dark. There was an older guy, about 19 or 20, with them that immediately made me feel uncomfortable. He leaned against our fence and eyed my body, biting his lower lip. One of the boys hurriedly said it was one of his cousins and I should ignore him. Wait, how old? You were 12? Oh my. Ew. Come on out with us, the boy said. We want to show you something. No, it's late, I replied, remembering how I boasted at school that I'd be home alone. Oh, that's a big no-no. Okay, wait, we have something for you, the other boy said, as he turned around and got something that he had hidden behind the lamppost. He returned with a brown bottle filled with liquid, with the label removed. It was already open. Here, drink this. No, I said, and they just kept insisting I drink it, saying it wasn't that strong. It tasted good and that I'd be fine. My heart was beating in my chest. I just realized this is a related post, so it's not even about road trips. But I'm already into it, so just ignore the fact that it's not about a road trip, okay? This is just a bonus story. My heart was beating in my chest. I felt nervous as the older guy kept looking at my bare legs, playing with the latch on the fence door. Suddenly, Shaka, our dog, appeared from behind me and planted his bottom on my feet. He was a huge wolf-like dog, and this low, deep rumble started to grow louder and louder as he growled. He stared the guy down, who hastily let go of the latch and backed away. The two boys also backed off quickly. It was as if Shaka sensed my fear and came to give me his strength. He would fight for me. I told them to go away and leave. I didn't want to drink their stuff. My dog sat like a statue on my feet until they disappeared back into the darkness. My brother said he was watching the entire time for any signs of trouble and couldn't believe how brave Shaka had been. When my dad heard about it, he gave Shaka a big steak as a reward. Shaka was my guardian angel. I still love him and think of him. He died in 2008. What could have happened if he weren't there? Oh, that is so sweet. What a good boy. I didn't expect to end up sad, but I really like that. Alright, since the last one wasn't technically a road trip story, I'm going to read one more and then I'm going to wrap it up because I've been yapping for too long and my throat is getting tired. Okay, it says, this one is by Paul Catalini, 6 years ago. And it says, it was the 1980s. Late one night, in a very dense fog, I was driving up I-280 from Stanford to San Francisco. It seemed I was the only one on the road, and with the fog, the only one in the world. Then, lights appear ahead in the distance, traveling slowly, separating into two red dots, too high and too close together to be normal. As I approached the lights, a boxy shape appeared through the gloomy mist, supported by tall, thin tires, with two small red taillights mounted high on the back. As I passed, I realized it was a World War II vintage Mercedes military ambulance. We passed without acknowledging each other, both disappearing into the fog, never to see each other again. It was one of those Twilight Zone moments. I could hear Rod Sterling's voice and the music in the background. Were we both in California in the 1980s, or was he driving along the Autobahn in the 1940s, also in a dense fog, and our paths just crossed? Two ships in the night. We'll never know. Cue Twilight Zone music. Just kidding, copyrighted. Oh my gosh, that was good. That was a fun one because it's not taking itself too seriously. It's like, strange that would be out here. Do those exist? Like, are there any that are alive and running? Like, would that be possible to drive out in the road? Would that be legal? I have no idea, but I have to look that up because I don't even know what that looks like. But the description sounded very, like, interesting. Out of this world, you could say. World War II Mercedes military ambulance. Oh, that looks fun. Okay, yeah, it's like those standard looking military trucks. I feel like if anyone has one and restores it, It's not impossible for them to be out and running. I even see there's one here for sale. Oh, that one's out of stock. Oh wait, that's a model, like a toy model car. But yeah, that'd be very spooky to see in the middle of the night driving by yourself in very dense fog. I would be like, what the heck is going on? Very interesting looking car. Obviously, yeah, very unique, and you would definitely notice that while you were driving. Even if it was hard to see, you'd be like, what is that? Because of the shape of the ambulance car. Really interesting story. I really like that one. That was a good one to end the video with. But that's gonna be it from me, guys. I'm slowly, like, my energy levels are tanking the more that I talk. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, you guys. And if you made it this far into the video, make sure to comment this little traffic sign emoji down here. That way I know who stayed all the way to the end. And if you did, just know that I really appreciate you and I love you so much. And also, before I end the video, today's comment shout out goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. It always makes my day when I see you guys comment down below. And if you want to be the next comment shout out, that's all you have to do. Just leave me a nice comment down below and that's it. And I'm forgetting what else I'm supposed to say. But thank you again for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye bye.